Well, the situation in Kano is quite different, where the governorship election petition tribunal on Wednesday sacked Governor Abba Yusuf, declaring the APC candidate Nasiru Gawuna as winner of the March 18 governorship election. The tribunal also ordered INEC to withdraw the certificate of return issued to the governor and reissue it to the APC candidate. Reacting to that judgment, the new Nigeria People's Party has expressed dissatisfaction with the decision of the court, saying the party will no doubt appeal what it described as the most unfair judgment. According to the party, the tribunal arrived at the judgment by subtracting 165,663 votes from the governor's tally in order to enable it unfairly award the election result to the candidate of the All Progressives Congress. But the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, and the party's candidate in the 2023 election, Nasiru Gawuna, have now expressed happiness over how things turned out. Speaking separately to newsmen in Abuja after the tribunal affirmed Mr. Gawuna winner of the poll, Mr. Ganduje appealed to the people of the state to remain peaceful. And in his reaction, the APC candidate chronicled his political journey with the APC chairman, promising to continue with the blueprint, especially the campaign against drug abuse, insecurity, as well as criminality, if he eventually emerges a winner at the Apex Court.
It's a historic day. Today is a day of moment. Today is a day that we are very happy. We have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for providing an enabling environment for the judiciary to be fair, transparent, and pass a judgment in our favor and a judgment that is true of its color. We have to thank judiciary. We have to thank our party faithfuls, our party leaders. We have to thank the people of Kano State.
I'm joined now by NNPP National Secretary Dipo Olayokun. Also joining me is a senior advocate of Nigeria and APC Counsel Sanusi Musa. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the program this hour. Let me begin with Mr. Olayokun. Your party released a press statement earlier today saying that democracy is under serious threat and there is a need to save it from total annihilation. Is that not a very strong statement? Because this is just one out of the many other seats your party won in the 2023 election that is now being contested.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nifemi, and the Nigerians. Good evening. Before we go further, at least since yesterday when this judgment was read, we have been calling on the people of Kano and Nigerians in general to remain calm, because we cannot afford the breakdown of law and order now. And again, we want to reiterate that in spite of what happened yesterday at within the judiciary, our faith in the judiciary remains sustained. Yes, but there's a need for us, Nifemi, to look at what happened in recent past that eventually culminated in the ruling of yesterday via Zoom. Unfortunately, before the judgment was presented or was read, there were reports of moves allegedly by some big wigs within the APC that whatever, even if heaven falls, they must nudge Kano, especially the governorship, by all means. And unfortunately, and down to the event of yesterday, there were indications that all efforts were geared towards achieving that. And you see, some people call it judicial gymnastics, but we don't want to go to that extent. Because you ask yourself, how did these people, the judges, arrive at that the conclusion that gave us that decision?
We know exactly how they arrived, Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Olayokun, and it has to do with certain ballot papers that were not stamped and signed. Perhaps we should get into the details very quickly. I'm just a little bit curious about if these issues were not raised by NNPP agents during this election, about raising concerns if indeed these ballot papers had these issues. Yes, I'm saying we know how the court arrived at that decision. I'm asking if these issues were not raised by your party agents during the election as regards the ballot papers that weren't stamped and signed.
You have to question the circumstances that made them to arrive at this decision. In the 2023 general elections, there were 5 different polls. You have the presidential election, you have the House of, so you have the Senate, you have the House of Reps, the governorship, and the House of Assembly. Those 2 took place the same day. In the presidential election, our candidate, Senator Rabi Musa Kwaso, defeated the candidate of APC roundly. In the Senate, in Kano, out of 3 seats, NNPP has 2, APC has 1. In the House of Reps, we have 18 as against 6. In the House of Assembly, we have about 24, 25 against a PDP. And all of his APC, and all of a sudden, the governorship now, because of what they call overvoting, because we have to question the meaning of that overvoting. Is it that after totaling every vote, including, putting together APC, PDP, NNPP, and other, the question you ask is, should we have more votes than the total number of voters accredited? Those are the questions that we are putting forward. Because if we are going to deduct 165,663 because they did not carry INEC stamp and signature, how then do you blame a party for the inadequacies of the umpire charged with the responsibility of conducting election? Maybe as we proceed on this program, we'll be able to point out what happened to Section 63, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022. So those are the issues that we need to interrogate as we go further in this program.
Well, we have a lawyer here who can help with that. Sanusi Musa is a senior advocate of Nigeria and is also an APC counsel who was very involved in the case that we're talking about. Let's hear your opinion about what has been raised, particularly how this became NNPP's issue, if it was the responsibility of INEC to have these ballot papers ready and in alignment with the law.
Okay. Before that, let me respond to some of the things that he raised. He talked about that that APC was saying it to take over Kano by hook or crook. I think that is not the correct situation. We have seen that it was the Kano state government, in particular the secretary to the state government, the special advisor to the governor on political matters, the special advisor to the governor on youth and sport, and the commissioner for lands that were threatening to kill the members of the tribunal, and also that saying that they will visit Kano with something more than Boko Haram and banditry.
Do you have evidence to that effect that they made such statements?
I do. I have all the videos. I can send, if you give me your WhatsApp, I will send you the videos. I have them with me here. And the governor sacked the commissioner for lands and sacked the commissioner for land and special advisor on youth, while leaving the secretary to the state government, as well as the special advisor on political matters.
All right.
So
let us leave that aside for a bit, because we saw the police swing into action, given a 24-hour curfew.
Judgment is delivered via Zoom. When they are saying judgment.
Go ahead, Mr. Musa, if you can hear me.
Is to cast as part of the judiciary. Because when they are saying that,
You may have to hold that thought for a minute while we fix the connection issues. We can hardly hear you, senior advocate. We probably will get back to you shortly. But
him. It's under him. And he threatened that they are going to make Nigeria ungovernable. So how do you expect them to go to Kano? They are not from Kano. So it was the state government, the official of the state government that threatened to visit violence on Kano people. That was why the members of the tribunal had to stay, and they are justifiable on that. That is one. Can I go on?
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Now, on the issues he raised, he said that because the Senator Konkoso won the presidential election, so how can we even be competing with them? I think, let me remind him, in 2019, APC won the 3 senatorial election. We won the 24 House of Assembly members. But 2 weeks when the governorship election came, we had a very tight fight. We had to go for a supplementary election. So in Kano politics, that is not something new. So on the issue of saying that whether their party is being blamed, no. I think if we find time to read the judgment of the court.
We have lost your audio, Mr. Musa. You may have to unmute yourself. But let me get back to Mr. Loggerheads very quickly, because he has raised a pertinent issue and even saying that he has evidences to show that certain government officials are threatening to unleash mayhem, if the judgment goes the other way. I want to refer you to number 9 on your press release earlier today, Mr. Loggerheads, where you mentioned that at this juncture, it's pertinent to ask, why is the guilty running when no one is pursuing them? After attempting to steal the people's mandate, they declared a 24-hour curfew in the state. Isn't that the wise thing to do, seeing how volatile Kano can be, on political and election matters of this nature? One would think that NNPC will be on the side of peace and ensure that everywhere is calm when there is still enough room to address or to, contest the position of the tribunal.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much, Nifemi. As a journalist, I expect that you follow the trajectory in Kano State throughout the election, before the election, on the day of election, and after the election. You will agree with me that NNPP does not have the propensity to unleash violence on the people. On the day of the election, it is there in the public domain. A sitting member of House of Representatives led some talks into the NNPP secretariat, burned down the whole place with some members inside that place. We never raise any finger. We never go out on the streets to visit mayhem on the people because we don't believe in violence. So how then would they become now? Because how can you declare curfew 24 hours when you are not in a war situation just because you have read a judgment? You now said to impose a 24-hour curfew from Wednesday evening to Thursday evening. That means the whole of Wednesday and Thursday is paralyzed for Nigerians, especially the people of Kano. They will not be able to go out to look for their daily bread, especially in this type of economic crunch that people live by the day. And because if they thought that they have done the right thing, why did they impose curfew? Why did they envisage mayhem? If you look at the history of the party in the area of the storm, NNPP, we have never done anything that is violent. And that's why I give you an example, what happened when they went to our secretariat and burned down the whole place. We did not raise any finger. We only reported to the law enforcement agencies. But it is very, very unfortunate. That's why I said, because Barrister raised one issue on the issue of violence, then on the issue of how then what happened. On the day of the election, we had the governorship election the same day, just like the House of Assembly election. Ask them, APC, how many House of Assembly seats do they have? On the date, the same day they did the election. Governorship and House of Assembly elections were held the same day. That's why we are so confident that if you look at our press conference today, the governor himself had his press conference yesterday, where he appealed to the people of Kano, please remain calm. Right. I'm going to retrieve my mandate using the legal means.
I hear you.
Today again, we address the press conference.
I hear you, Mr. Olayokum.
They know we know what they have done will have consequences. That is why we continue to appeal to our people and the people of Kano to remain calm.
Well, the good
But
thing
if
is
you
that
look at, that's why
both parties are towing the path of peace, and that's perhaps the most important thing right now. But let me bring the senior advocate into this conversation very quickly. Let's address some technical issues here. Senior advocate, 165,663 ballot papers have now been withdrawn. So the question on the lips of many is, how come only NNPP has been affected? Some others are saying if you add this number to the 70,000 cancelled votes, and there might be a ground for a rerun instead of actually, calling the APC candidate the winner of this election. How do you react to that?
I will react. Allow me to react some of the issues serious, because it's like the NNPP is not in sync. They and their government are not together. While he's here blaming the federal government for issuing curfew in Kano State, I think he didn't even read the press statement by the police. Let me read what the police said. In the paragraph 2 of the issue, the release, they say, going forward, Kano State residents are called upon to note that combined security forces have already been dispatched to nooks and crannies, including entry and exit of the state, to ensure enforcement and strict compliance of the 24-hour curfew order as communicated by the state government via letter with reference number K/blah, blah, blah. So it is Kano State Government, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, that issued the curfew. This is what the police said. This is the release by the police. So I don't know where he gets his information. And he said we should answer him on what happened on the day of the election, how many state houses of assembly we had. On the day of the election, 14 state houses of assembly constituencies were declared inconclusive. So if you have declared 14 state houses of assembly inconclusive, how come that you did not declare the election of the governor inconclusive? It's one of our allegations, and the tribunal confirmed that. Now, let me go to the issue that you raised on deducting the invalid vote from their vote, and you find out that it is all that of the APC or vote that is accredited to NNPP. People should understand. We made the allegation, and we were able to apply for inspection of the document. Tribunal issued an order that we inspect all the ballot papers, sort out the invalid one, photocopy them, certify them, and bring them to the tribunal. So we have done all the 34 local government out of 44 to fish out all the ballot papers that were stuffed by NNPP and its supporters. We brought them to the tribunal. They have any allegation that there are ballot papers that were also stuffed in the ballot box that were not in conformity with the Electoral Act, that were in favor of APC? What stopped them from bringing it to the tribunal? They did not bring any. They only brought one witness, and that one witness, the tribunal found out that he was asked, if these ballot papers are from INEC, do you have any objection to them? He
Senior
said
advocate,
no.
talking about the ballot papers, some said that these papers were tendered by the APC after the party had closed its case, and that the NNPP did not have an opportunity to cross-examine.
No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not the ballot papers. But ballot papers were tendered during pre-trial. What was tendered after the close of is some of the document from INEC. And what happened was INEC refused to give us the document. And we made it clear to the tribunal. Some of the documents were given to us at the branch of closing of the case of the other party. And these are certified true copies of the document. Then the tribunal said, and the tribunal made an order that whenever INEC made available those documents, we should tender them.
But
and
was the NNPP able to cross-examine these papers?
They have the papers. You should understand, under the Electoral Act 2022, Section 137, it says where your allegation is substantial non-compliance. And on the face of the document, it has manifestly shown that there is substantial non-compliance. You don't need any witness.
I hear you.
And the tribunal said, correct.
I hear you, senior advocate, but we're running out of time. So let me quickly hear from Mr. Olayokun before we go. We hear that the NNPP is appealing this judgment, But how united is your party, going to the appeal court with the news of suspension here and there and the friction between, among stakeholders within the NNPP?
Yes, whether suspension, expulsion, or whatever, NNPP is one. And again, just in answer to what the barrister said, if it has been established, according to him, that there was substantial non-compliance by INEC, then why do you now have to punish NNPP for the ineptitude of INEC? But Section 62 is very, very clear. Section 63, subsection 2. INEC official has counted these ballot papers. And it says that if the returning officer is certified, and the ballot paper which does not bear the official's mark was from a book of ballot papers, which they have already done. So why now do you punish NNPP for the mistakes of INEC by refusing to stamp the ballot paper? Have they established that these ballot papers were not from INEC booklet? Did they establish that these 165,633 votes made the total number of voters more than accredited voters? So those are the issues that will be determined when the matter gets to the appeal court. But we have bases that have been determined by higher court in this matter. And that is why we are appealing to our followers. Let them be made calm. Nothing has gone wrong. This is a mandate freely given to our candidate, our governor, on the 18th of March. We are going to get it back. That's why we are appealing to our members.
All right.
Don't go on the streets. Don't do any violence. We are getting our mandate back. That is the only appeal we have for today. Because we believe so much in Nigeria.
I hear you.
We believe so much in peace in Kano. That is why we never do anything that will truncate the peace of Nigeria or Kano. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, that's our time. All eyes on the appeal court, and we wish you all the best. NNPP National Secretary Dipo Layokun, and also Senior Advocate of Nigeria and APC Council Sanusi Musa. Gentlemen, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the program this evening.
Thank you very much, Nifemi.
That's our program today. You can watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.